Good morning, and thank you for having me here this morning.
All right, let's begin this way. It's exactly 99 days today since, of course, you were sacked as Appropriation Committee Chairman. And what Nigerians have seen are staggering revelations coming from you, mind-blowing revelations, at that. And why have you chosen this path? And you seem to be standing alone in this war, and you seem not to be discouraged with all that's going on.
First of all, let me just quickly point out a correction that I wasn't sacked. I resigned, and I resigned because I resisted a lot of attempt by the Speaker and the other three principal officers to commit a very massive budget fraud and of course other issues of corruption. And when I couldn't stand that, I offered to resign, and in a bid to probably give an impression that I was relieved of my appointment, the Speaker went ahead to say he sacked me. But anyway, that is in the past. Of course,
yes,
you've given
yes,
a very
that's in the
fantastic
past. Let me just put this
issues.
in. Honourable Abdulmumin Jibrin, the House insists that you were sacked or that you were removed because of misconduct.
Well, I think even the Speaker, in his own speech, he contradicted himself, because on 21st of July, or sorry, on 20th of July, he said Honourable Jibrin came up and informed me of his resignation. In any case, I've informed him about that a couple of days before that. But on the issue of misconduct, it's amazing, because what are the issues that I raised that amounted to misconduct? There are issues of corruption, issue of budget fraud against Mr. Speaker, three principal officers of the House, and few committee chairmen, less than 10 committee chairmen that conspired to commit the biggest budget fraud in the history of this country. I don't like saying pardon, because pardon is just a small segment of the corruption aspect of the budget process. But what happened was a massive budget fraud and other issues of corruption, which of course I raised. And they said that amounts to misconduct. And if that amounts to misconduct, so be it. Nigerians should pray for more of such misconduct to happen. So long as someone will come out to raise issues of corruption, expose corruption, if an institution bring itself together and say that amounts to misconduct, then I'm very glad to have committed such misconduct, and they will continue to see such misconduct in the future.
All right, Honourable Jibrin, many Nigerians wonder why your outburst came after you left office, because they say that, or we often hear that the issue of fraud or the issue of budget padding has been part of the system since even 1999, as the case may be. But right now, why is your outburst coming after you were not in the office anymore? That's one question Nigerians have been asking.
Okay. In the case of 1999 to 2011, I wasn't in the House of Representatives, so it would be unfair for anyone to try to make me to make any comment in that regard. But from 2011 to 2015, I've tried to explain this severally. I think people who own that such an opinion have been unfair to me because I've been raising these issues. I've raised fundamental, sometimes it's like I'm the lone voice in National Assembly. Just pick your iPad and Google it and see the kind of issues that I raised. All the issues that have become the key economic issues facing the country today, I've raised all these issues in the past. All the issues that we are talking now in terms of the issues of internal reforms in the National Assembly, corruption in National Assembly, issues of running costs in National Assembly, I've been talking about these issues in the past. When I came out and contested for the post of the speakership, go and listen to the speech that I gave. The press were there, they recorded it. I discussed the whole of these issues. Now, but that aside, let's take it that fake it that I am talking after I have left office. I think any rational approach to this issue is simple. If in the process in the last 5 years I've been culpable of any offense that I've committed, maybe budget fraud or corruption, simply what it's supposed to be done is to write a petition against me and submit to the anti-graft agencies. This is the first time an individual used his own pen to write petition against the speaker, 3 principal officers, 10 members of the House of Representatives, his colleagues, that he sits with them in the chamber, and took it to the anti-graft agency, the police, and of course the security agencies. What are they waiting for? Anybody who has issues against Jibrin of corruption in the last 5 years I've been in the House, take it to the anti-graft agencies. I will go and also clean up, defend myself. So I think it is diversionary. It is a distraction to continue hammering on the issue of, oh, after 5 years, after 5 years, so what? I'm not immune against investigation. I've been part of that system, and I've kept myself open. I said, if I have done anything wrong, put down a petition and take it there. 259 members, nobody have done that after 4 months.
Okay, so now it's just you against some 360 or so, members of the House. And well, the question is, how long do you think you can actually go on this fight? Number one, your own political party, the APC, right after you came out with these allegations or revelations, as it were, actually told you to stop saying anything further about, this whole budget padding issue, but you continued. Are you saying then that you're not under, party supremacy?
Well, I think we need to put records very straight.
Yes.
Many people have accused me of not respecting the instruction of the party. The party invited me for a meeting. I went, and they told me clearly, Senator Shaibu told me clearly at the meeting that we are not here to stop you from exposing corruption. We are here for you to brief us about what is going on, what are the facts of the issues. Now, but after the meeting, of course, they felt that, okay, look, let's de-escalate the crisis and reduce talking, but not in any way trying to stop you from raising issues of corruption. 2 days after that, the Speaker went to the State House, had audience with the President, came out from the office of the President and said pardon is not an offense. And it is the same pardon. He said he sacked me. He sacked me because of pardon. And he went out right in the sanctity of the villa and said, pardon is not an offense. I called the party. I said, you said we should stop making comments on this issue. But this is what the Speaker is saying. It is so annoying and so frustrating to see the number 4 citizen of the country saying budget fraud. Because I say, stop using pardon. It's budget fraud. Budget fraud is not an offense. They ignored it. The following day again, he went on air to talk. All the people supporting him, the few corrupt, fraudulent cabal in the House of Representatives, continue to talk. I called the party again on 3 occasions. It's on record. I spoke to Lawali Shuaibu. They took no action about it. And so I had to come out again and continue to talk. So I spoke because they allowed the other party to continue to talk. And I just felt Dogara was using it to change the public narration and to also portray me as just a fall guy looking for an excuse somewhere. That is the aspect of the party. On the other question you asked about how far I can go, I keep telling people all the time, when it comes to the issue of fighting corruption in Nigeria, if you say you are wasting your time about waiting to mobilize everybody to come out of his house to join you, or me start going to the houses of every member of the House of Representatives to come and join me, you will never succeed. So it's a thing that I'm not doing for myself. And that is why Dogara was busy mobilizing members, spreading money around, and blackmailing members of the House of Representatives to support him. I didn't do that. I would have done that. I didn't, because I don't need to beg you to come and do what is right. If you believe what I'm doing is right, come and support me. If you believe it is not right, stay where you are. It's fine. But for me, I said, I turned 40 on September 9th, and I have drawn a line. This is how I want to live the rest of my life. I said I am now an activist, and my focus is exposing corruption in the House of Representatives, an institution I love so much, an institution I believe it is operating below its capacity, an institution that I believe that there are a lot of reforms that needs to be done, an institution that I believe that the only thing that goes on there, the biggest business, is corruption. I cannot pretend about that. That's the reality of the matter. And when I raised the issue of running costs and corruption, did anybody come out to say he's lying? Nobody came out to say I'm lying. All they say is that I breach their privileges. And I said, if exposing corruption in the House amounts to breaching your privileges, then get your seatbelt tightened, because I will continue to breach your privileges.
All right, Honourable
Jibrin. I'm not going to apologize to anybody. Why do I have to apologize? When I know somebody is corrupt, I go and apologize to him. I would never do that.
Honourable Jibrin, a lot of your colleagues certainly are different for a stand to kick against corruption, stand to say that corruption is the biggest problem we have in Nigeria. They make all these statements. But now that you decided to practically stand against corruption in the House, why has it become difficult for your colleagues to rally around you in this fight and struggle against corruption in the House?
Very interesting question. There's this simple English sentence that goes, say it and do it. These are things I even teach my kids. Rules you give them. Rule 1, be honest. Not only talk about honesty and corruption in your mouth, you should be seen to act in that manner. It is easy for Speaker Dogara. I've watched him 2-3 occasions on television talking about corruption. But here you are, surrounded, swimming in a pool of corruption, and you are not acting to avert it, to eliminate corruption in that house in any way. Now the point is, if as a house, or if I will go back to the initial issue that you asked, why are they now reluctant about talking about it? Of course, you know, I talked about the issue of the Speaker blackmailing members. And this is important. And I want you to listen to this. And I want to send this message to Nigerians. And even if we are going to live for the next 1,000 years, if it will take 1,000 years, the truth I'm saying today will come out. Majority of members of the House are pissed off about this issue of budget fraud. Majority of members of the House are angry about my disclosure of corruption under Speaker Dogara. The fact that he has not disclosed the internal budget of the House, the fact that he diverted projects to his farm, the fact that he inserted billions of fraudulent projects in the budget alongside Lasun, Leo Ogo, and Alhassan Dogwa. All these issues really getting members very angry. But one thing unites the House, and people get surprised that I say this. It's simple. It's the issue of the running cost. And the moment you raise the issue of the running cost, it unites the House. So in the course of this struggle, a couple of members came to me and they said, Mr. Jibrin, we will all be part of this struggle so long as you do not go into the aspect of running costs. And I said to them, look, my target is not Dogara. People think all I'm trying to do is to get down Dogara. But I said, no, my target is to get reforms in the House and get corruption out of that House. Enough is enough.
Okay, so now said, let me come in here, Honourable Jibrin. Let me come in. Hold on.
Question. Oh. This is the first time I'm insisting to answer. I'm insisting to answer a question before you proceed. I now told them that, look, if it is just to choose which aspect of corruption in the House to deal with and ignore others, I won't be part of it. So, and they told me clearly that if you will go into the aspect of running costs, we will withdraw from you. And I said, so be it. And a day before we resumed, the Speaker called caucuses. And right inside the caucuses, I've said this thing separately. They have not come out to deny it. He said clearly that what Jibrin is doing is going to bring down everybody, the issue of running costs. And so there was pressure on me to drop the issue of running costs. And if I had just wanted to get Dogara out, I would have stopped talking about the running costs and they would have gone and impeached Dogara. But the issue is I'm out for a total cleanse-up in the House of Representatives. And so I insisted that we must also look at the issue of the running costs. And so they said, you've lost it. They went put themselves together and got me suspended from the house. But have I stopped talking about the running costs? You're collecting about 10 million naira every month, like a footballer or a basketballer, and that money is stolen directly. I've said it. I'm not scared about saying it. The worst they can do is to come and kill me. If you kill me, tomorrow somebody will come and continue this struggle. Between 10 to 20 million naira has been collected in the past. Meanwhile, Nigerians are on the street, suffering, looking for what to eat. You are there seated. You call yourself a member of the House of Representatives. Is that what we want? What I am looking out for is not to get Dogara out. It's not to get any member to jail. But if you've committed an offense, you should go to jail. But there should be reform. There should be reform. Drop the running costs. Determine what is reasonable. Open up the house. You have a situation where people just come there, sit down. Somebody was pissed off with me that I said members go to eat granite and lick tom tom. Yes, I said members go in there to eat granite and lick tom tom. Why? Because you have a member comes for 4 years, he has no one report.
All right,
no
can I come in now then? Honourable Jibrin,
your activities.
Can I come in now?
Please go.
Right, you talked about, looking at the issue of running costs. Number one, what exactly would be reasonable to you? Are you saying that the house, projects will be run without monies? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so what would be reasonable to you? I've also
said it very clearly in the past that absolutely I'm going to give you an answer. I've always said, yes, you will need a certain amount of money to run the office of the member of the House of Representatives. But the point I'm making is that knowing the present capacity and productivity of the present House of Representatives, the amount that is taken is too much because the productivity is extremely low and capacity is poor. So the 10 million you are taking now is very, very low. It's too high, it's outrageous. But let me say something to you. You can have a situation where you are effective, very productive, and the necessary capacity is in the house. In that case, you can even raise the money beyond that, so long as people see the value of the work you are doing. But what makes this case so bad is that the money is directly taken away, for goodness sake. In what language do I put it for Nigerians to understand? And no member of the house has come out to say he is lying. So the issue of determining what is appropriate is secondary, because even if what is taken now is appropriate, the point we are saying is that it's not used for what it is meant to be used for. It's stolen, simply stolen. So, but you see, these issues, we need to take it one after the other. There is the budget crisis, because some people get a bit confused. They say, oh, Jibrin has raised a lot of issues and we are confused. No, there's the issue of the budget fraud, aka pardon. Then there is the issue of individual corruption by the Speaker of the House. Then, of course, there's the issue of the running costs, which is systemic corruption. So you have to take it now one after the other. And I tell you this, it is not all about saying take away the running costs. It has a multi-dimensional consequences, positive consequences. I tell you this, 80% or 70% of people that rush to the House of Representatives come in because of that largesse, because of that money. So you see somebody throw away all his life savings just to go and buy votes. He wants to come to the House of Representatives. Why? Because he believes there is where to recoup the money. By the time you kick that away, you will have the right caliber of people that will come solely because they want to serve the country. And even the electorates themselves, they will be compelled to actually vote for their conscience. That is one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is that the House of Representatives is the single most powerful institution in the country. It oversights everybody, oversights the office of the president, oversights the judiciary, oversights the EFCC, the ICPC, everywhere and the rest. When you have a large pool of corrupt people like that, in oversight, what do you oversight? All you get there is corruption. When you say investigative hearing, I have given an instance, the chairman of Marine Transport, who went and invited 1,000 companies. Everybody knows that when you invite 1,000 companies, what do you want to do with that? It's an obvious case of corruption. You bring issue that you want to investigate Malabu oil. Malabu oil has been investigated more than a dozen times by the House of Representatives. Where is the report? Now, from the last 1 year, we've passed countless motions. Why are Nigerians not asking, where are the reports of this investigation?
All right, then just hold on a bit for us, Honourable. Let's find out what your colleagues are saying in response to some of these allegations on your part. Okay, let's take that now.
My constituency require a bridge, and then they propose a hospital. I can say no. What my constituency require is a bridge and not a hospital. So the House has a right to via some of the projects to different zones or to different areas. So that does not amount to panic.
Why didn't he raise all these allegations before he was removed? Why is it that he's reacting to his removal with all these baseless and unfounded allegations against his colleagues and the leadership of the National Assembly? The press should know this, that the man is drowning and he wants to carry a lot of people along with him.
All right. Honourable Jibrin, I guess you listened to some of your colleagues. One last bite there, they say that...
Absolutely.
Yes. One of them said that you are drowning and you want to take everyone along. What's your reaction to that?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know why I'm laughing? Because when I look at their faces, I see the faces of very fraudulent and corrupt people that I know what they do, how they steal public funds and the rest. And you know the interesting thing is that all of them keep using the word that he's a drowning man, misconduct. But I was waiting for one of them to say, this man is corrupt. This man has stolen money in the house. None of them is saying that, and I thank God I've made my family very proud. Now, the issue, one of the issues that he raised there of a drowning man. What is the case of a drowning man? I went to the house fairly comfortable, and I'm still running my life the way it goes. And I'm not drowning in any way. No, it's not the case of a drowning man. I'm talking. So long as you are not lying. If a drowning man goes and he's lying, then that's fine. Let's assume that I'm a drowning man. Fine, so be it. I'm a drowning man. What I'm doing now is I'm exposing the corruption in the house, and they've not denied anything. But again, let me say something very important. Very, very important. Now, Nigerians have been a bit confused. And it is these fraudulent cabals in the house that are trying to confuse Nigerians about the issue of the budget funding, budget fraud. They tell you that, oh, members of National Assembly, we have powers, appropriation powers, to put in projects, remove projects, add whatsoever. And many people quoted me in the past also saying we have that power. Today, again, I'm telling Nigerians, yes. The House of Representatives has the power of appropriations, power to put projects, remove projects, and whatsoever. But the point is, over the years, that power has been misused. That power has been used to commit fraud. And let me give you a practical example. My colleague was just mentioning now that, oh, I have power, my constituency wants a project, I put it there. It is not the case of putting project for constituency. For instance, if his constituency, I've cited this example, wanted one transformer, and the Ministry of Power included that transformer, and that transformer cost, everybody knows, should not cost more than 2 million naira. Then a member or a chairman of a standing committee of the House, because he has the powers of appropriation, decides to add 4 million naira on that transformer and makes it 6 million naira, is the first category of fraud in the budget process. The other thing that can also happen is that if he decides to take away 1 million naira from that 2 million, knowing fully that the remaining 1 million cannot buy the transformer, it's a sabotage against the country. The third scenario is that if he decides to even take the whole money out there and take it somewhere, you'll be amazed what is happening. When a transformer is being provided, then which the community actually needs, he would take the 2 million naira and go and buy sleeping mats. And those sleeping mats, it is not recommended. It's just a way to just steal that money within the budget process. Now, these are the kind of issues that we are talking about.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you how powers of appropriation can be used. Oh, no, the other way, it's important, where it can be used in an appropriate way, which the House, over the years, has not been using it in the appropriate way. For instance, if in a community, what they need is an irrigation system, And the budget now came with a good numbers of solar boreholes. And the member from that constituency now brought out facts that what we needed is irrigation. And the total amount of money budgeted for the solar boreholes can provide the irrigation system for that community. Then the standing committee chairman decides to take the money provided for the solar boreholes and converted the line item to irrigation. He has used the powers of appropriation properly. But the point is that this proper way of using the powers of appropriation has been grossly deficient in the House of Representatives. In the case of 2016, most of the projects inserted, about 2,000 projects.
Okay, let me come in here.
Fraudulent.
All right, let me come in here. Some of your colleagues are actually saying that this is an attempt on your part to turn the table around on them. They've accused you or alleged that you have a knack for blackmailing colleagues of yours and high government officials and mishandling sensitive government information for pecuniary purposes. How would you react to that?
Well, all these statements, they're all vague. If you look at how I've approached the issue, I think it's a challenge to them because I've approached the issue with facts and figures. I said Mr. Speaker and the three other principal officers stole 40 billion. I put together all the evidence and how they shared it and how they distributed the money to themselves. I gave it to the anti-graft agencies. I said they inserted 20 billion of fraudulent projects. I list out all the projects. I handed it to the anti-graft agencies. I said the Speaker tried to force me to insert 30 billion into the budget, which is practically impossible. I brought out all the documents, gave to the anti-graft agencies. The 2,000 projects I'm talking about amounting to 284 billion naira is with the anti-graft agencies. I said the Speaker took projects to his farm. I listed the projects and I also provided the core agendum, which is the evidence that he actually took those projects to his farm. Why I'm giving you this instance is that provide evidence. Don't mislead Nigerians. If you say Jibrin mishandled sensitive documents, give example. Which is a sensitive document that I mishandled? Which is a sensitive document? If you say Jibrin blackmailed his colleagues, how? What did he do to blackmail his colleagues? That is why I keep cautioning Nigerians that we need to be very vigilant, because now that they don't have anything, they have two options. One is to destroy my reputation, and the second thing is to assassinate me. I've raised that issue severally, that these people, particularly the Speaker and the three other principal officers, and Honourable Hema Hembe, severally on the floor of the House, Hema Hembe has threatened to assassinate me, and they've threatened to kidnap me. All this is in the public glare. The other aspect is to continue to try to damage my reputation, and all that they have raised is vague, and all the allegations that they have also tried to raise regarding my private business life before even coming to the House all turned out to be false. So if they raise any allegation against me, let them bring out facts.
All right, Honourable Jibrin.
And I've been around for a while. When somebody talk about handling sensitive documents, it's funny. They probably haven't gone back to look at my pedigree.
All right, Honourable Jibrin, the concept of budget padding became popular after you came up with lots of allegations in here, because people actually talk about corruption, they talk about fraud, but when it comes to budget padding, it became a phenomenon. Now, but Speaker Yakubu Dogara, in the heat of the controversy, said that there was so much, or there was no word that exists like budget padding, as the case may be. Let's listen to him before we come back to you on this.
Resign for what? For what now?
On this allegation.
What is the allegation?
That you and some members of the leadership padded the budget.
I've asked you what is padding, you haven't told me.
Jibrin has spoken.
Ask him what is padding.
Are you
Where? Well, for me, I studied law. I've been a legislator. All this period, I've never had the word padding being an offense under any law.
All right, you heard that, but you have said that, well, it's budget fraud, aka padding. Now, where did this padding word, make us understand, where did the word padding come from?
Okay, I didn't only listen to the speaker, I was also actually looking at his face. You know, I haven't seen him. I've been looking for an opportunity to be able to tell him these things eye to eye. He has denied me the opportunity to be able to look at him in the presence of my colleagues to tell him that you are fraudulent. And the nearest opportunity I've had to do that was the day we had the caucuses meeting just before we went back to recess. And he actually thought I'm a coward and I will not appear at the meeting. And I went to the meeting. And when it came to my turn to talk, to address him face to face and look at him and tell him his crimes, they tried to cause confusion there, and he was whisked away and they got him out of the meeting. Anyway, that's by the way. Now, pardon, if you go by dictionary meaning, it means when you add something something useless, something that has no meaning to something that has like an irrational addition to something. You see, they use the word pardon because when you go to prosecute, you will not have that word pardon. But they think they will outsmart the law. And that is why I said I will cooperate with the anti-graft agencies. I have had several sessions with the anti-graft agencies and the security agencies. And I've tried to tell them that, look, it is not pardon, it is budget fraud. What is happening is beyond pardon. Pardon is just one element of the entire fraud in the budget process. Pardon is that aspect of adding something. So when you add something to what the executive brought, it is usually regarded as pardon. So, but essentially, when you deconstruct pardon, you will come to realize that it is budget fraud. And anybody who thinks that he will use the word pardon and escape prosecution, he must be a joker, because what he is going to be charged for is budget fraud. And all of them, these four principal officers, committed budget fraud.
All right, thank you for, defining exactly what padding is for us. You did say that you've been interfacing with the anti-graft agencies, the EFCC and the rest of them. What has been the outcome of your interactions with them so far? And are you impressed with the way they're going about it till now?
Yes, I must say for me personally, I am I'm very satisfied. Of course, I know that Nigerians have been very impatient. Nigerians want to see Speaker Dogara being arrested immediately, and of course alongside Lasun and the rest of the fraudulent people in the House. But again, I know that will come. I have 100% conviction. Whether I stop talking or I don't stop talking, reforms will happen in the House of Representatives. And of course, these people will be arrested and they will be prosecuted. I have had several meetings with the anti-graft agencies. In the case of the police, an Assistant Inspector General of Police, very competent detective. He's in charge of the investigation and he's doing an excellent job. For the EFCC, a special team was set up by the chairman of the commission, and in fact they're given a special location to work, of which I've visited them severally, interacted with them severally. I don't want to disappoint them by saying things that they might not be happy, but I will tell you this: EFCC have made far-reaching discovery on the issue of the budget pardon. But I have said one, and I hope they will pardon me for leaking this one out. When I raised the issue that Speaker Dogara took one project to his farm, it was during the investigation of the EFCC that we discovered that it's 4 projects. I thought it's one water scheme project, but it happens to be 2 water scheme projects, 1 feeder road that going to his farm, and of course a full component of rural electrification situated in his farm. These are projects that are meant for some constituencies who will suffer. A constituency with 100, 200, 300,000 people who are supposed to benefit from that, he's taking it to his personal farm. So now what I just want to tell Nigerians is that they should be patient. The other aspect of this discussion is that, oh, the president has not spoken. And I have said it repeatedly, that I feel so happy that the president refused to talk over this matter. Because when it comes to corruption in National Assembly, the moment the president or the presidency alter a word, they will say, oh, it's Buhari that is using Jibrin to fight the legislature. And Nigerians are very gullible when it comes to that. They will jump up and say, allow the legislature to do their job, independent of legislature. So it is a blessing in disguise that the presidency kept quiet over this matter and allowed the matter to mature by its own self.
All right, there are also, yes,
indeed, that Jibrin is not being used by anybody.
And speaking of Nigerians, of course, there are bigger questions. Why are Nigerians, for example, not talking about your revelations, number one? You once apologized to Nigerians, so let's listen to that soundbite, and then we will ask you why you apologized. Let's play that.
That I'm not an angel. I'm imperfect and fallible, which are peculiar human traits. I therefore wish to apologize to Nigerians where I have erred in the past. I have fully repented, and I will make it up for the country by staying on course, taking the personal risks at ensuring that I continue to expose corruption and corrupt persons in the House and beyond.
All right, Honourable Jibrin, that was, we just had to play that back to give a perspective so you can maybe make clarifications on that. You apologized on things you did in the past, and you said you have repented and you're moving forward. What are those things really that that has made you change now for Nigerians to now trust you to say, okay, you are a genuine whistleblower, as the case may be?
Well, the whistleblower is not necessarily a saint, so it is not the aspect of whistleblower. Anybody can be a whistleblower. So it is usually it is a value of what he brings on board that is of benefit to everyone that actually matters. But on the aspect of apologizing to Nigerians, I did apologize to Nigerians, and I will continue to apologize to Nigerians because I'm a product of the establishment. So what I'm doing now, I'm taking a huge risk. And personally, I know a lot of people that are so angry that I am doing this because this is somebody who has been part of a system. But so what I said to Nigerians is that, yes, I came out of this system. So please do not use that to frustrate what I am doing and to keep attacking me with the question that you were part of them. I said, I am sorry I was part of that system. But if I have committed any offense in the course of being part of that system, I'm ready to also face the penalty. But again, I am apologizing in anticipation. I am sorry, and I have drawn a line, and I am not part of them. I'm part of you. Because at some point I got to a point where they see me too much as part of the establishment, and the people they keep pushing me back that go, I am sorry, and I have drawn a line, and I am not part of them. I'm part of you. Because at some point I got to a point where they see me too much as part of the establishment, and the people they keep pushing me back that go back to where you belong to. We don't even trust you. And over there they can never trust me for the rest of my life because they believe that I've blown up everything. And I have no any regrets. And if you've been very close to me, I've said to people, let me just make this point. Yes. Those people who have been part of my life, they know that I've always nursed this ambition to blow up what is happening in the system. Whatever will happen, let it happen. This country cannot continue like this.
All right, so you've been suspended for 180 legislative days. The House, which belonged to, obviously said you should apologize. Well, it does seem that your apology is to Nigerians and not to the House. And you said your suspension is, or was, illegal, as it were. Exactly why have you taken them to court for suspending you? Because they do have the right to suspend any offender in the House.
Well, they do not have the right to suspend my constituency. The person, the seat does not belong to Abdulmumin. I think that is where Lord Yakubu Dogara believes that he can suspend the people of Kiru Bebeji. That seat belongs to Kiru Bebeji Federal Constituency of Kano. It does not belong to Abdulmumin Jibrin. And the Constitution itself envisaged this scenario, and knowing fully that your conduct will also be guided by what your people wants you to do or wants you to say. What has happened is what I am saying. Are my people not happy with what I'm saying at the moment? Are my people not happy with the fact that I open up and I blow up the issue of corruption in the House of Representatives? If they are not happy, they will recall me. But they are happy with what I'm doing. And because they send me there to represent them and represent their aspiration and what they want us to do, which is exactly what I did.
All right,
and the Speaker decided to suspend my constituency. No, just a moment. The Speaker decided to suspend my constituency from the House, which is unfair. It is unconstitutional. Then when you come back to the internal rules of the House, even within the internal rules of the House, you can only suspend a member for 14 days. Then when you go to the Legislative Privileges Act, which they keep quoting, it only provides that you can suspend a member for just only 1 day. But again, even in that code of conduct of the House, it provides that every member has a responsibility to expose corruption. And these are part of the issues that we're going to take to the court. The code of conduct. It provides clearly that you must expose corruption.
All right, Honourable Jibrin.
These are the issues where in the court, and I'm sure that the court will be able to determine this. But let me also say that even if I'm going to remain suspended for the next 3 years, I will not stop this struggle. I will not. They think 3 years is a long time. At the end of the 3 years, even if they continue to suspend me for 3 years, we will all get down. Now they think they are in the upstairs, up there. We will get done after 3 years. It's a short period. And
let's find out what Nigerians are saying, of course.
Nigerians have been reacting to this, and certainly, Fola, you're here to give us that.
Oh, Mike, I saw you battling. They're trying to bring me in, but there's just so much to say, as we can all imagine. Now, when you talk about top 10 issues buzzing on social media this year, I think this would probably come in top 5 or at least top 3, possibly.
If not number 1.
Exactly, if not number 1, to be honest. So let's see what people are saying about this. First tweet here from @Inyang Dan. He says, can Nigeria take Abdulmumin Jibrin and Ben Murray Bruce seriously? People don't just talk. Mr. XTO, Abdulmumin Jibrin, sorry bro, one man's dance is madness in a theater that specializes in playing only sad stories like Nigeria. Eteobo says, no one even reacted to the ban Nigeria's House of Representatives slammed on Abdulmumin Jibrin. Nigerians do not care a hoot. Unfortunate. KC Prague says, Nigerians should please pay attention to Honourable Abdulmumin Jibrin. He's been sounding it for long, the green chambers and budget padding. Clear Truth says Nigerians shouldn't sympathize with Jibrin. He suddenly turned to a whistleblower because he was removed as chairman. Why did he not start with it when he was enjoying the loot? And Mr. Ochanogo says Abdulmumin Jibrin is looking for sympathy that he will not get. When he was busy padding budget before he was caught, who did he tell? I know we already addressed some of these issues, but I do want to, so I don't have to bring us back, let me just move forward and ask. Honourable, there's been so much focus. I mean, you did speak earlier about the issue of corruption in the National Assembly, but there's just been so much focus on the House of Reps. Why isn't anyone saying much about the Senate? Is that to say that there's no corruption there?
Yes, people have also questioned me about that, why hasn't there been, why am I not mentioning is it possible to do? The trigger to this matter is the budget issue. And I've tried to explain that when it comes to appropriation matters, the House of Representatives has overwhelming power over appropriation, over budget matters. In fact, we have so much powers that if two same committees, one in the Senate, for instance, if the Education Committee in the Senate and that of the House provides a report during the budget process and there are areas of discrepancies, that of the House supersedes. And the House provides the Secretariat for the appropriation work. And that is why you see the Appropriation Committee of the House remains still sealed. That of the Senate, there's just nothing in it. And so we play leading role in the appropriation matters. And of course, the Senate play a leading role when it comes to confirmation of appointments, etc. and the rest. Then secondly, people should also be fair to me because I'm a member of the House of Representatives. I don't know what is going on in the Senate, and I don't know what is going on in the executive. I'm not saying there are no issues in the Senate or the executive arm of government. But again, maybe someday you will have an Abdul in the Senate or you have an Honourable Jibrin in the executive arm of government. Nigerians should pray that more of Honourable Jibrins should come out to be able to talk and take the huge personal risk to continue to see this. When people say, why is he talking that he has left now that he's not enjoying it? The fact of the matter is that who will want to put himself, they should ask themselves, at this risk, I'm taking a huge risk to be able to do this.
All right, Honourable
Just
Jibrin.
because I'm angry that I've been removed from chairman of appropriation, then I'll continue to take this risk.
All right, Honourable Jibrin, we certainly understand that. That's Fola. Thank you very much. All right, now let's move on. Now, I like you to make comparison. You were in the House even before now. How would you compare the leadership style of Honourable Dogara as Speaker and the former Speaker Tambowal, who was there before this 8th Assembly?
Okay. Well, that will also connect to the issue, because I know the moment I answer this, you will now ask me, so why did you support Dogara? So I would start from the top before going to the bottom. In the case of Dogara, it was an error of judgment, and I've apologized to the party for supporting Dogara and playing the very lead role in getting Dogara on as a speaker. Dogara turned out to be a direct opposite of the personality that we thought he is. A very divisive personality, divided the house across religious lines, across ethnic lines. Putting a lot of manipulation and pretense in his leadership style, etc. And he's not a consensus builder. Now, if you ask me to do a comparison between Tambowal and Dogara, I will tell you that Tambowal is a more of a liberal, somebody who brings people around. He's a more of a consensus person, and Tambowal stick to his role as speaker, which is part of the foundation of the crisis that Dogara now imported into the house. I've never seen Tambowal going to have meetings with a minister, Tambowal as speaker, to go and sit with a minister that is having a meeting. He will never do that. He will send you to your mate, the committee chair. But what Dogara does every day is to be meeting with the head of MDAs. Practically, you go to Dogara's office, he's like a committee chairman. Every day eating jollof rice with the head of MDAs and the ministers, etc. And that has created a huge tension within the House system. Secondly, Tambowal made efforts to reform the House. And what we thought, and that was why when we were campaigning, we were saying continuity, we thought that Dogara would come and just kill it and just seal the reforms. And he threw away the reforms. As soon as he became speaker, all the issue about building a template for members to put in reports so that we can have institutional history, committee chairman putting up the report, opening the house. For instance, now the electronic voting system, the day I was suspended, every constituency in Nigeria wants to know, my member, did he vote for that suspension or not?
Okay, we do have a clear picture.
Members come in to chamber their constituency.
Yes, very quickly, because we're pressed for time. You did allege that 10 members of the House pocketed 10 billion naira illegally as office allowance since, well, between 2003 till date. How much of it did you get?
10 billion naira.
Yes, quoting your statement that, 10 members got or pocketed 10 billion naira between 2003 till now. And I'm wondering how much of it you got.
What I said was that the interesting thing is that it was that statement that made me to lose all the support I had from the members, from the transparency group, from the integrity group. The day I made that statement, that the principal officers of the House have collected 10 billion naira in running costs. That was the parting ways between me and a lot of members of the House of Representatives. Yes, I said they collected 10 billion, and they've not come out to deny it. Cumulative in between themselves, and each member, I listed out what he has received. And because I also want to be very transparent, I said I have also been paid a running cost. I've taken as much as 650 million naira, and I'm also working with the anti-graft agencies to give suggestions on how these matters can be resolved. This money can be returned. That is if you use it in the appropriate way. If you can come and defend it, that you did not use it to go and collect money in advance, you did not pocket it into your pocket, which I know majority of them have done that, then you should be able to come and sort out yourself.
All right,
but if a member
Jibrin
can defend how he has used it in line with...
All right, Honourable Jibrin, I must thank you very much
You
for
just called me.
obliging to be on the program. We certainly have a lot to talk about right now, and time will not permit us to do that now, but we are going to look for another appropriate time for us to dwell on this issue again, so Nigerians can have an understanding into your perspective of the fight against corruption, which is one of the bane of your political party and this government. Thank you, Honourable Jibrin, for talking to us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me and providing your platform for us to continue to remind Nigerians that this issue will never die.